Hi, I'm Nick, service technician here at Marine Parts Specialty Services, and today we're going to show you guys a project that we've been working on for the past couple weeks. It's kind of been a naturally evolving process of this custom rib that a customer brought to us. He just bought it from factory, so if you guys are ready to check it out, let's dive on in. This is a custom rib that the customer brought to us. We sold him the Suzuki motor. With it being a 30 horsepower motor, we don't technically have to rig it, but he wanted us to do it anyways. So he actually hung the motor. And this has been one of those jobs that it's kind of been evolving as time has progressed, to where we originally were just talking about doing the rigging for it, putting some gauges in it and putting hydraulic steering on it. And then it slowly morphed into, let's add this feature, let's add this feature. And it's something we love. The customer comes in, is like, what do you guys think about doing this? And so we're like, yeah, we can make that work, or well, how about we do it like this instead? And so it's good kind of back and forth feedback we've had with this customer. So I guess I'll kind of walk through and show you guys all the different things we've done. So originally, like I said, this had cable steering in it. One of the big things was he wanted to put hydraulic steering in it. So we put a C-Star kit in there, a hydraulic steering helm. And per the manual and the instructions on the installation, C-Star doesn't actually make a cylinder for this small of a motor. So we called C-Star and we're like, hey, can we actually put hydraulic steering on this Suzuki 30 horse outboard? And he basically, our rep was like, I don't see why not, you know, give it a shot. So we put it on and we didn't think we had any issues until we trimmed it and noticed that the ram on the engine for the steering did not clear the transom bracket. So with further discussion with the customer, we decided to have a precision cut made to where we cut portions off of the transom bracket. With it being bolted through the transom and at the height that's at, really that transom bracket was not providing any support. So it was just more or less in the way at that point. So once we cut that, now we have hydraulic steering, and it turned out great. You know, we bought Suzuki's cool white paint to color match where we made the cuts, so it's not just bare aluminum there. So that was one of the big features we did. The other thing that's really cool about this is with the hydraulic helm itself, we had to custom make a plate that went behind there. So we originally talked about doing brushed aluminum, but from factory, this boat came with a carbon fiber dash. So we thought the brushed aluminum would look, you know, a little off being on there. So we actually made a fiberglass bezel and then carbon fibered that fiberglass bezel to match and blend with the dash, which we thought it turned out so well. We were like, well, instead of using the plastic cap that came with the boat for the steering wheel, we're just gonna make a carbon fiber cap. So we made the carbon fiber cap and the carbon fiber bezel. Another feature on this boat that he wanted to do was, we originally talked about just doing analog gauges. So with the help of going down some late night Suzuki forums deep in the rabbit hole, we found a way where we could give him both functions. So having digital gauges essentially, so reading through the SMD, the engine functions, along with having analog gauges. So we were able to provide him that. We put an SMD7 on there, so he has plotter capabilities along with the fish finder. And then he also has the engine functionality being displayed on that screen as well, with having his analog gauges. So technically speaking, he can just use the analog gauges, or he can use both, or he can use the digital, whatever one he's wanting to use. Another cool feature that we added in, and again, this is, you know, an evolving process. So he came to us with this idea of this company makes basically a wireless kill tether. So, you know, everybody that gets in a boat sees that big red lanyard that you're supposed to strap to your life vest in the event that you were ejected from the boat. It kills the engine so your boat doesn't take off and wave goodbye to you. So the wireless kill tether works. It's a watch that he wears, and this is the button. So we wired it into the harness with the Suzuki factory kill tether. So if this gets a certain distance or if it gets wet, it shuts the engine off. So we actually tested it out and it works great. So that was another sweet feature he came to us with. And again, this is, like I said, it's been an evolving process. We've added, hooks so he can hoist the boat, stainless steel hooks, just little odd and end things here. The factory fuel filter was just a spin-on filter. He wanted to do a bulb, so we ended up doing the bowl style fuel filter for him. Another cool thing is if you come up here to the front of the helm, he wanted to do a charger for it. So when it's with his main vessel, he can plug it in and it'll charge the battery. So long story short, we have no more room for electrical. We have filled this thing to the brim with wire and electronics, and it's got all the bells and whistles. And we're super stoked to get this buttoned up and actually sea trial it. A rigging tube for this 30 horse, we had to custom make our own rigging tube. So if you come back here, you'll see, we bought this special weave that goes around the components, your shift and throttle cable, along with the electrical harness. And then we shrinked it up here at the top to give it a cleaner look. Turned out really good. So all in all, this has turned out good. Really, the last thing we got to do is button up a transducer and just finish mounting a couple things, and then we're ready to get it on the water and sea trial it.
If you're ever thinking about a special project you'd like to do for your boat, we're the guys that can help take care of it for you. So if you're in the Michigan area and you'd like to conduct a special project, don't hesitate to give Specialty Services a call at this number. And as always, if you're looking for parts and accessories for your boat, you can find them online at marinepartssource.com.